we back with another one, man. And we're going to get right off into this LeBron fan getting destroyed in the Michael Jordan debate. Let's do this shit. Make sure y'all drop a like, comment, subscribe. Let's do it.
I can't have a conversation with Jordan fans, bro, because they don't want to have a real conversation. Name a time he played against a dynasty. I can name a LeBron James who played against a Golden State dynasty. Spurs dynasty. See, the difference between the two careers is, one, the rules has changed.
What? And the style of how it's played. I watch now, points are like 144, I think I saw the other night, and 125. And
there was a point, I believe, probably in around the late 90s when the game became too physical.
The difference between the two careers is...
What? Too physical?
The rules has changed. Two, people were getting challenged. We can go further up and say we can remember the Derrick Rose, the Paul Georges, the DeMar DeRozan who averaged 27 points. Michael Jordan never had to worry about that.
You serious?
When looking at the dumbest fan base in sports, the most delusional, the most out of touch with reality, we in fact have LeBron James fans. As looking at this fan base, let alone Michael Jordan. When it comes to narratives and false narratives, they parrot them all day long. If you talk to LeBron fans long enough, here's a couple things you're going to see off rip. First off, tons of half-truths, blatant lies, and deception like you wouldn't believe. And looking at TikTok and clips that are only a minute long, the average LeBron fan in these clips can lie about 45 times.
I can't have a conversation with Jordan fans, bro, because they don't want to have a real conversation. Like, let's get this part out of the way. 6 rings, 10 scoring titles, performances in the finals are unmatched. And I don't think you ever match them. Not because players aren't as good as him, just because the competition and the rules has changed.
Stop it. Stop the cap.
That doesn't make sense.
Now, stopping that right there very quickly, looking at this clip, very, very condescending. As looking at Jordan's legacy, yes, he'll give him props, 6 championships, tons of scoring titles. Michael Jordan, of course, he accomplished that. But to undercut it, what did this guy do? Jordan's competition wasn't great, and the rules made him look better than he actually was.
Man, Larry Bird is better than fucking LeBron. And Michael Jordan had to fucking, that's who he was playing against.
This right here,
Stop
one of
the
the biggest
cap.
inversions of reality I've ever seen. As looking at Jordan the player on both ends of the floor, why he was so effective, so consistent, wasn't due to the refs or bad competition.
People love scoring. The one thing, and I think maybe the league over-calibrated in terms of offense at times, because what fans clearly love too is defense.
Just because the competition and the rules has changed since he played.
And looking at those so-called rule changes, if you're trying to knock MJ down, cut him down, because some vague rule changes, this also bites you in the butt looking at LeBron James. As of course, post-Jordan's second retirement, what was the NBA doing in 1999? Trying to make the game less defensive.
Yeah, you can't touch the offensive player no more. Michael Jordan had to play through the physical stuff. Michael Jordan was getting beat up out there on the court, legitimately beat up.
More offensive. Of course, by 05, new rules were implemented, and a decade later, offense was king and running the NBA. And fast forward to modern day, no 3-second rule, no hand checks, flopping's rewarded, and foul baiting is league-wide.
What bothers you more, flopping or tanking?
We give the benefit to those who, who
I can't stand that shit with SGA, dude. Oh my God.
necessarily are trying to manipulate the game into their advantage. I just don't think it's basketball. Like, let's just play basketball. All the foul baiting, I think it's whatever for me.
If you look at the 1990s era of NBA basketball, was everything perfect, everything smooth? Of course not, it never is. But looking at Jordan's era, if you're talking getting stats and numbers, back then objectively, it was indeed hard. Looking at LeBron's era, especially 2015 onwards, getting stats and numbers has never been easier. And guess what? Look at every single superstar, none of those players is as consistent as great as Michael Jordan in the finals in the 1990s. And what does that do to? Not the rules, but the players in this era not being as good as Mike. That's what it comes down to.
Name a time Michael Jordan played in the Eastern Conference, that 6-ring spurt, where he had to worry about 4 or 5 players averaging over 26 points a game in the Eastern Conference. Because I can name a Allen Iverson who averaged 33. I can name a LeBron James who averaged 31. A Gilbert Arenas, 29 points. A Paul Pierce, 26 points. A D Wade, 27 points. All in the same year.
Now, stopping that clip right there very quickly, the entire premise of this clip is pretty simple and straightforward. Michael Jordan's comp sucked, and the Eastern Conference was overrated. Now, why was it overrated? Well, apparently Jordan's East had no elite scorers, no players above 26 points per game. Now, here's the funny thing. Let's look at LeBron James first, these same parameters in the Eastern Conference. The 2016 Cavs championship, look at the Eastern Conference. Players who met the criteria, 26 points per game, there were 0.
Yeah. 0.
2013, only 2, and 2012, there were 1. And look at that list, it includes LeBron James. So in reality, those 3 championship years, looking at non-LeBron players, the only guy you have is Carmelo Anthony.
Seems you've been using your Discover cashback card to earn 5% cashback at restaurants or
Yeah.
water. Now,
These fucking LeBron fans, man, they just straight lie, bro. And people believe it, and then they eat it up and think LeBron really is the GOAT. But when somebody sits there and breaks it down for you, it clearly proves like MJ is the best we've ever seen.
No, I'm too old.
Now, do the inverse. Look at Michael Jordan, the same parameters, same years, championship seasons, Eastern Conference, and players at 26 or higher. 98, you had 1, 97, 2, 96, 2, 93, 2, 92, 2, and 91, you had 4.
Checkmate.
Now, one
Checkmate.
thing I do want to point out very quickly
Checkmate.
is cherry-pick stats for narratives and to push an agenda. Looking at this guy, the number 26 is so arbitrary, so random, there's got to be more behind that. So going and doing the digging, looking at Michael Jordan's Eastern Conference, here's why I think 26 was chosen and not 25. If you look at the 91 East, players at 25.9 points or higher, there's 5 guys in total.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Bernard King, Barkley, Ewing, and Dominique Wilkins. So looking at that list, Dominique Wilkins is 25.9. This guy's entire premise, entire narrative, people have cherry-picked stats and one tenth of a point that disqualifies Dominique Wilkins from being included in that list.
Name a time he played against a dynasty. I can name a LeBron James who played against a Golden
The Pistons. I guess the Pistons were never a dynasty. They never won. Did they win 3?
State dynasty. Spurs dynasty. See, the difference between the 2 careers is, 1, the rules has changed. 2, the people were getting challenged.
So stopping that clip right there, look at the typical LeBron fan argument. This one always makes me chuckle. And look at these so-called dynastic teams he's faced. What do they all have in common? Teams, they beat him more times than not. The Golden
That's facts. They became dynasties because they were beating
State
him.
Warriors, prior to 2015, they weren't a dynasty. How did they become one? At LeBron's own expense, of course in the finals, win 3-1 versus the so-called king. Look at the Spurs, the exact same thing. Prior to 07, they had 3 rings on the verge of being a dynasty. But 07, sweeping him, they became a dynasty. In 2014, got a 5th ring, which solidified that, and it's the NBA lore, one of the best dynasties of all time. And looking at Jordan, saying he didn't face as great of teams, dynastic teams, I also don't really buy that. As of course, looking at Bird Celtics, 1986, debatably the greatest team of all time. Then look at Detroit.
Yeah. Facts. Playing Detroit. What are we talking about?
9. That year combined 78-21 in the playoffs, only lost 2 games, which both came to Jordan's Bulls. Then look at Orlando in 1996. This team going that year, they were poised to be a dynasty, the next great team of the late 90s. Now who stopped that? Michael
Jordan stopped the dynasty from happening. Shaq and Orlando, bro, they were tearing shit up in the 90s. You know what I mean? They were giving the league hell. And who kept winning the championships, though? Michael Jordan, man.
Jeffrey Jordan. And look at Detroit, 1991. What were they in pursuit of? The elusive 3-peat. If Detroit
So they had 2. They were in the pursuit of 3. Look who stopped it.
beats Michael that year, they 3-peat, 3 dynasty, one of the greatest teams of all time. But because Jordan beat them, they're kind of forgotten.
And that's what Golden State could have been, just a 2 championship team, but instead they're a 4 championship team.
Footnote in league history. My overall point being, in LeBron's era, the dynasties flourished, and in Mike's era, he ended them more times than not.
We can go further up and say we can remember the Derrick Rose, the Paul Georges, the DeMar DeRozan, who averaged 27 points. Michael Jordan never had to worry about that. And that's the biggest difference in the legacy. So once you start having real conversations, they just want to start copping out. They want, oh, we can't help who we play. We got to start understanding that the rules has changed.
Now, stopping that right there very quickly, that is our final clip,
These
and it's
motherfuckers.
absolutely hilarious. Look at LeBron's so-called tough Eastern Conference. Who's he bring up? Derrick Rose, Paul George, and DeMar freaking DeRozan. Look at that comp right there. I mean, come on, you gotta have more than that. And look at his own stats being wrong in his own video. Derrick Rose's career high in
Yeah, look, not even close.
scoring was 25.0. It came in 2011. And of course, post that year, was injured, never the same, and never recovered. Now look at Paul George, the mighty playoff peak. This guy has currently one time ever cracked the mark of 27 points per game. The ironic thing is, when did that happen?
2019, LeBron.
Left the Eastern Conference and went to OKC. PG in his mid-20s, early 20s, the highest mark he ever reached in the Eastern Conference was 23.7.
Yeah.
And last but not least, DeMar DeRozan.
That's not a knock on Paul George, especially because Paul George had that extremely bad fucking tear or the injury too, that break in his leg.
The great DeMar DeRozan. This guy in LeBron's Eastern Conference only one time cracked 27 points a game, and he barely did it at 27.3. So looking at that list right here, your own examples are pretty embarrassing, and 2 times you're wrong.
DeMar DeRozan averaged 27 points. Michael Jordan never had to worry about that.
Oh, bro.
Dude, they're so delusional.
Brother, this guy stinks!
If you think that right there bolsters LeBron's Eastern Conference, you're sorely mistaken. And saying Mike, quote-unquote, never had to deal with this is completely asinine. Look at Dominique Wilkins in Michael Jordan's East.
Yeah.
6 separate times this guy cracked 27 points per game, and twice was above.
Shaq too, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley. Oh my God, yeah, bro. Look, Michael Jordan actually had tougher fucking players, and the defense was tougher, and you could still be physical. Come the fuck on, y'all can't realistically. Like the eye test also never lies. When you sit back and watch 2 players play, that's why, like, when you sit back and watch Kobe and MJ play, and you sit back and watch Larry Bird play, and you sit back and watch LeBron James play, the eye test doesn't lie on who was the better player.
30. Compared to PG,
But
Rose, and
for the
DeRozan,
people that like stats, here you go. Here's the stats. The stats don't lie either.
Dominique on his own has more combined years at 27 points per game in Mike's conference. Now look at Bernard King despite injuries. This guy not once but twice cracked 27 points per game in Michael Jordan's Eastern
That's
Conference.
the only player I don't know, the King.
Charles Barkley also twice. Shaquille O'Neal twice in Orlando did it. And Larry Bird 3 times was also a part of this list. Looking at this guy's entire video, it's full of half-truths, incorrect stats, and cherry-picked numbers. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, for real. Man, for the people that like stats, well, here's the stats, and this kind of proves it, man. That's crazy. He broke it down in a different type of way, because people, like me personally, I don't necessarily need to know all the stats, because, like, I can see it. You know what I mean? I can know it. I know enough about both of their careers. I watched so much, you know what I mean? I watched Kobe, I watched MJ, I watched LeBron, I watched Larry Bird more and more now. You can see it. The eye test never lies, man. And it's clear MJ was a better player than LeBron James. But, man, let me know what y'all think below, man. It's still live checking out. Peace out, y'all.